Welcome to this ScandiDos presentation about the Delta4 Discover user interface. My name is Thomas Madsen and I'm the product manager at ScandiDos. Just a few words about the Delta4 Discover. Delta4 Discover is a system that increases patient safety at treatment. And it does this by doing an independent quality assurance of the complete treatment from the very first to the last fraction. And complete verification means both from the first to the last fraction, but of course also of all relevant treatment parameters like the dose delivery, the MLC, gantry angle, collimator angle, and the patient position. And the Delta4 Discover can be used, of course, in all different treatment modalities and treatment techniques like VMAT, IMRT, 3D conformal, hyperfractionation, 4D RT, and adaptive radiotherapy. The Delta4 Discover, it's an upstream detector, an extremely thin upstream detector. It fits within the protection zone, the zone defined by the anti-collision laser of the LINAC. And this means it retains the clearance to the patient. It is also very thin regarding beam transparency. It has minimal attenuation, and also the skin dose is not changed a lot. This has the big advantage that you do not need to recommission your LINAC. You can just introduce a tray factor and can start with Delta4 Discover measurement from day one. So now I would like to talk about the user interface. Some of you are used to the Delta4 software if you have the Delta4 Phantom. And a typical user of the Delta4 Phantom is, of course, the physicist. Now, with the Discover, we have other categories that are interested in to work with the Delta4 Discover. And another difference compared to pure pre-treatment verification is that you have much more data. You have about 30 times the amount of data compared to pure pre-treatment verification. And the reason is that you have measurements for every single patient fraction. And this has the following consequences. You want to have a very easy to use interface. And we have created a clear user interface that uses symbols and colors. And all information is very condensed. And also, it's important to have an automatic evaluation that you have in this user interface. This is the interface most of you are used to. It gives you powerful tools to verify delivered dose in details, a lot of different tools. And we have introduced a button that you can use to toggle to an easier user interface, where you get an overview about the patient fraction. You see in the above some header information about the patient, about the plan, and also the status of this fraction. And then in the below you see the result of the different fields. In this case, it is a VMAT treatment with 2 underlying rotations. You get an information if this fraction has passed or if it has failed, and also not only that it has failed or passed, but also which parameter has failed. So you see a small button that is turned red, so it has failed based onto that parameter. So a little bit more about these different parameters. Delta4 Discover gives you information about dose delivery, dose to structures, MLC information, patient position, gantry angle, and the collimator angle. And for each of these parameters, there is a symbol showing you if it has passed or failed according to the threshold values that you have defined. And it's both an indicator, but it's also a button. If you want to have more information, just press a button and you get more information. And if you really want to dig very deep into these data and want to analyze it in a very deep way, you have always the possibility to toggle back to the physicist advanced view, and you can do the detailed analysis there. So here just two examples how it may look if you press one of these parameter buttons. Another very important thing is the calendar. You want to get an overview about the complete treatment, and therefore we have designed two different calendars where you get an overview over the complete treatment, and you see for every single treatment day if the treatment has passed during that day or if it has failed during that day. Then you can click onto any of the dates and the result of that day will be opened automatically. Of course, you also want to know how is the complete treatment, and for that you just press the sum button and then you get a summary over the complete treatment until that day, or if the treatment has been completed, it's accumulated dose over the complete treatment. So the Delta IV user interface, it's a very clear user interface using in principle just symbols and colors to make it very intuitive to work with the user interface. It gives you condensed information and it has an automated evaluation so that you can handle this huge amount of data in a very efficient way. Thank you very much.